Most house extensions aren't disasters that are caused by bad luck. They're caused by three avoidable decisions. And I see homeowners make all three of them every single week. I'm Paul, an architectural technologist, and I've worked on over 10,000 home extensions. In this video, I'm going to give you three hard rules. They're not complicated. In fact, when I say them out loud, you'll probably think, yeah, that's obvious. But obvious doesn't mean that people still aren't doing them, because they are constantly. So number one is never choose your builder on price alone. Now, I know what you're thinking. You want the best price. Everybody does. But here's what actually happens when you go with the cheapest price. You get somebody that cuts corners on the costs to win the job, which means they're cutting corners on your project. Wrong materials, inexperienced subbies, and slow progress. And then halfway through, suddenly they need more money because something's come up as a problem that an experienced builder would have flagged weeks ago. I've seen homeowners save £2,000 or £3,000 on a quote, only to fall out with the builder because they're inexperienced and it costs them tens of thousands of pounds down the line to put it right. So get three quotes, not to find the cheapest, but to find a benchmark. And then if you get a quote that comes in that's considerably lower, then I'd pretty much walk away. Because let's be honest, they're not going to be cutting the cost out of their profit margin. They're going to be cutting costs on the materials or how they do the job. A good builder doesn't need to be the cheapest. They need to be the right experience, have the right referees, and be the right fit for your project. So number two is don't copy the neighbour's extension. It might be in the same street, the same type of house, and you think, okay, it's a shortcut. We'll just do the same as what the neighbours have done. But it isn't. Your neighbour's extension was designed around their layout, their lifestyle, and their needs, not yours. And their planning consent or permitted development was based on what they submitted, not what you've submitted, and not what you assume applies for you. I've had clients come to me after they've copied the neighbour's extension, and they've had problems with boundary setbacks that are different, or that permitted development rights have been removed from their specific property, or that there's a neighbour's window that has completely stopped them gaining planning permission entirely. So don't start from what the next door neighbour did. Start from what you actually need and design it from there. And number three, and this one genuinely frustrates me, is don't leave building regulations until later. I hear it constantly where clients will say, well, don't worry about the building regs. We'll sort it out once the builder gets started. No, just stop there. Building regulations aren't a formality that you deal with once the builder starts or at the end of the job. Building regulations aren't a formality that you deal with at the end of the job. They govern how your extension is legally built, from foundations to fire to insulation to the drainage. So they all need to conform to building regulations. If you leave this until the building work is already underway, you are already going to be behind and find yourself having problems. If the building inspector comes out and finds non-compliant work, then you are simply unbuilding it. Get your building regs application in before your builder starts. Not during, not at the end, but before. Have I made that pretty clear? You need to get your building control application in before the work starts. So if you're in the early stages of planning an extension, then why not book one of my 30-minute online consultations where I can give you clear professional advice. I can look at your project, look at your site, look at your drawings if you've got some, and give you some honest, clear advice of how to move forward before you spend a penny. I'll put the link in the description here, and I'll put a link in the comments so you can book directly through my link tree. So book my online consultation now and save yourself the headaches before your project starts on site. Now, which of these three do you think most homeowners get wrong? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you're liking the content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.